What is up, guys? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video. Today we are going to be discussing the state of Arizona and how it will look politically for the future. Now, if this was made before the election, I would say Arizona would be gone for the Republicans in the future. But after looking at some underlying data, there's some intriguing stuff happening in Arizona based on precinct level data we have. Now, before I start, hope you guys enjoy these type of videos. If you guys do, smash a like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes, follow me on Twitter, go join my Discord, and yes. So, those on the election mafia, a lot of the doomers out there are saying, it's all over. Arizona will become the next lean to likely Democrat state, the next Colorado. Well, for the doomers and the election mafia out there, that's wrong. And today I'm going to show you why. Because I was looking at some data we do have from the election. And there's some intriguing trends, to say the least. Now, you go look at the precinct map in Phoenix. And there's a lot of shifts that happen. But do you notice something odd about a lot of these shifts? The same time that Biden made gains, right? So did Trump. Just notice that for a second. A lot of these gains that Biden made minimal gains with because he somehow won nearly every single independent voter. That's a different story. Trump also made a lot of gains. Like, he did better in most of these precincts than he did in 2016. Now, this is my personal take. A lot of these swings that happened in Phoenix, this was mostly because of the national environment. I mean, you look at some of these, like plus 2.3% more Democrat. If this was, the exact same electorate as 2016, that would have stayed exactly the same based on the national environment. And a lot of these, like this one right here, it would have probably actually swung Republican if the national environment was exactly the same as 2016. So you're noticing a lot of these precincts in the Glendale area that Trump made gains, but Biden made even more gains with the third-party vote in 2016. This wasn't Trump doing significantly worse than he did in 2016. Most of these he did fairly better in, but Biden did somehow a lot better with third-party voters, like 3-1, they claim. And that's mostly the Glendale area. Same thing in Scottsdale. A little bit less gains for Trump, except this pocket right here. But that's about it for Scottsdale. And they've stayed about exactly the same. Trump got around 42%, 51%, 48%. So, roughly, he stayed around the same in the Scottsdale area. Considering the Glendale area, Trump did about 3 points better in most precincts. 2 to 3 points better. Scottsdale, about the same. Now, of course, you got the Tempe area and the Mesa area. That's going to be a little bit of a worry. This is the part of the suburbs where people should be a little bit worried about. Here you see that Trump did worse in a couple of these precincts than he did in 2016. That is signs that there's probably some growth for the Democrats to be made in this part of the suburbs, the Mesa area, the Tempe area, but not in the northern suburbs. Again, a lot of these northern suburbs, it's outside a couple of these very suburban parts of the suburbs. I know that's an oxymoron. Trump did better than he did in 2016. He got more votes out than he did in 2016 in most of these precincts. Just Biden did a lot better with the third-party vote in 2016. And you just pile all this up. Realistically speaking, most of these gains are from the national environment. Biden won the popular vote by around 4.5%. Well, the fact that he won by 4.5% and a lot of these gains are very minimal in the precincts. Outside of Tempe and Mesa, a lot of these gains are basically going to be based on what the national environment is. If it was a plus 2R electorate like it was in 2016, or plus 2D electorate like it was in 2016, most likely you would have seen a lot of the light blue be red. A lot of these precincts barely went to Biden. And a lot of these shifts, again, were mostly because of the national environment. So, the Phoenix area, it seems like outside of the Tempe area, most of the suburbs are starting to turn a corner. Even inner city Phoenix made some pretty big gains for Trump. So that's why Phoenix is not going to be like this safe Democrat city, I should say. The suburbs are going to be basically what the national environment is. So this was probably going to be what the Democrats' floor is for winning the state. Just barely, 4.5% nationwide win. For Republicans, if they do even 1% better in the national popular vote, they're going to win Phoenix, or Arizona, I should say, by around 1%. And you even can look at the county results. Trump got around 47.7%. 2018, he got around 48.1%. So Republicans, their floor is 48%, speaking-wise. While Democrats, they went from 44% to 50%. That's just a sign of they want most of the Gary Johnson voters out there, which is a bit iffy, to say the least. Third-party voters usually tend to vote heavy for the incumbent. But that's here and there. And the Phoenix area is not going to be this titanium safe place. It's going to be more so, I believe, a bellwether. Maricopa County will be. It's going to be the bellwether of the nation, in my opinion. I mean, Republicans just do 2 points better in the national environment, they win Maricopa County. If Democrats, just of course, win the popular vote by around 4.5, then yeah, they're going to probably win Arizona and Maricopa County. So yes, Phoenix, that's not the issue. Outside of Mesa, I can never say it correctly, or Temp, most of the suburbs in Phoenix, they're fine. They're not going to become the next titanium safe place. Most of these places are maxing out for the Democrats, and it should be fine for the Republicans. Now, one area that is a bit of a concern, however, is Tucson. Outside of the more urban part of Tucson, where Trump did make pretty solid gains in, yeah, the suburbs. We will not speak of a lot of these suburban precincts. This is going to be the part of Arizona that Republicans should be a bit worried about. These are where I see the Democrats making the most gains in, not in Phoenix. I think that Tucson's a better area for the Democrats to make gains in. I mean, they made 16-point gain, 15-point gain, 13-point gains. And again, they were also taking a share of Trump voters with them in 2016. But I do believe that a little bit of Tucson is a bit misleading because Trump didn't even campaign here at all in 2020. I mean, I think if you would have done one rally here, a lot of these gains by Democrats, especially in these precincts in pretty much the center of the city, they probably would have went +1 Republican. And that would have given Trump the state, of course. But that's here and there. I do think that Tucson is the one city in Arizona I think that Republicans should be worried about, but not Phoenix. Phoenix, in my opinion, will be swinging based on how the nation votes. If it votes 2.5% more Democrat, it'll vote 2.5% more Democrat. Votes 2.5 points more Republican, same thing. It's going to vote 2.5 points Republican. A lot of these votes basically seem like third-party votes that just swung towards Biden because the national environment is so bad for Trump. But outside of that, Arizona, in my opinion, Republicans, I think, will still have a slight edge in the state. I think that Democrats need to win the popular vote by as much as they did to even win the state. So for the future of Arizona, I do believe it will be kind of that titanium tilt-R toss-up category. Now, if Democrats win the popular vote by 4.5, then yes, it will be Democrat. But I do think it's going to become the next Florida in terms of pure purple state. It's going to be a mixed bag, to say the least. But when you factor into the Phoenix swings, you factor into the national environment, yeah, a lot of those gains in Phoenix, more so based on the national environment than anything. But yes, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.